Welcome back to our channel, History Coins HD. These Kennedy half-dollar coins make people rich. Let's find out why. Don't miss out one of these who know a single coin make you rich. Let's start this. Coin 1. We are diving deep into a coin that many people have held, maybe even spent, without realizing the potential hidden value it could carry. This is the United States 1972 D Kennedy half-dollar, a coin that might look ordinary at first glance, but when you examine it closely, reveals a world of history, artistry, and exciting rarity. Minted at the Denver Mint, identified by the small d below the eagle on the reverse, this half-dollar is part of the iconic Kennedy series that has fascinated collectors since its first release in 1964. While millions of these coins were made, some examples stand out as truly special, and today we are going to explore exactly why the Kennedy half-dollar was created in remembrance of President John F. Kennedy, capturing his profile on the obverse with a level of detail that has remained admired for decades. The 1972 D issue carries this same timeless profile, but what makes this coin compelling for collectors is not only the design, but the subtle details that can vary from coin to coin. This is where collectors need to pay attention, because within millions of coins, hidden gems exist that are rare and valuable, sometimes sitting quietly in change, old coin rolls, or personal collections. Some of the most fascinating aspects of the 1972 D Kennedy half-dollar are the errors and varieties that occurred during production. These coins were struck using high-pressure dies, and even a small misalignment can create noticeable differences. Doubled dies are among the most sought-after errors. On a doubled die coin, parts of the design, lettering, or numbers may appear doubled or slightly shadowed. This occurs when the die itself receives a second impression misaligned with the first, leaving a subtle but visible duplication. For a coin collector, spotting a doubled die can be thrilling, as these errors are rare and significantly increase a coin's value. Off-center strikes are another type of variation that collectors watch for. When a coin is not properly centered on the planchet during striking, the design is shifted, leaving part of the coin's edge blank. These errors are instantly noticeable and are highly desirable because each one is unique, effectively making every off-center coin a one-of-a-kind piece. Planchet errors, where the metal blank is imperfect before striking, can also create unusual textures, thickness, or even minor distortions on the coin. Each of these imperfections tells a story about the minting process and makes the coin intriguing to collectors who enjoy both history and artistry. Die cracks, raised lines, or small die chips are subtle details that occur as a result of wear or damage to the dies used for striking coins. What might seem like a minor flaw to the untrained eye is actually a signature of that minting batch. Collectors study these details carefully because they can help identify a coin's origin, rarity, and even its place in a specific production run. Coins with exceptional strike quality, crisp details, and clear lettering are highly prized, even if they are not error coins, because they stand out sharply when compared to regular circulation pieces. Condition is an equally important factor. Many 1972 D half-dollars were used in daily transactions, so finding one with minimal wear and original luster can be a rare opportunity. Coins that have never been handled, with surfaces that are clean and bright, will always attract more attention from collectors. Even small details, like the sharpness of Kennedy's hair, the clarity of his facial features, or the fine lines on the eagle's feathers, can make a coin significantly more valuable in the collector market. Collectors are also interested in how coins were stored. Those kept in protective holders, original rolls, or mint sets are far more likely to retain their appeal and value over time. The 1972 D Kennedy half-dollar also captures a moment in American history. By the early 1970s, silver was no longer used in circulating half-dollars, making these coins more accessible to the general public, but also less immediately attractive to investors. Yet today, that accessibility means that many hidden treasures can still be found in circulation. For a collector, discovering a rare error, a particularly strong strike, or a pristine coin feels like uncovering a secret piece of history that few others have noticed. Every coin is a tangible connection to the past, a reflection of the people, processes, and artistry of the time. Collectors also pay attention to subtle variations in mint marks, edge details, and die polish. These minute differences, often invisible to the casual observer, can have a large impact on value. Some coins even show striking anomalies that make them entirely unique, such as doubled mint marks, missing elements, or slight misalignments in the design. Each of these anomalies is a reminder that coins are produced by machines operated by humans, and that even in mass production, individuality can shine through. The excitement of spotting these differences is what makes coin collecting both challenging and rewarding. Now, when it comes to value, most circulated 1972 Kennedy half dollars are worth only face value or slightly above. Uncirculated coins, particularly those with strong strike and full mint luster, can sell for several tens of dollars. Error coins, including doubled dies, off-center strikes, and planchet anomalies, can reach prices in the low hundreds of dollars at auction. In some exceptional cases, coins with highly noticeable errors or perfect mint state condition have been known to exceed $1,000, depending on rarity and collector demand. Condition, uniqueness, and the story behind each coin always influence its market price, making careful study and attention to detail critical for anyone serious about collecting. If you are a coin lover, the 1972 Kennedy half dollar is a coin that deserves your attention. Look closely at every detail, examine the strike quality, the mint mark, and the edges. You never know when you might discover a piece that is not only beautiful but also historically significant and potentially valuable. Coins like this reward patience, knowledge, and careful observation, offering a tangible connection to history and the thrill of discovery in every single piece. Coin, 2, we are exploring a coin that is not just a piece of currency, but a symbol, a story, and a piece of history that every collector dreams of holding in their hands. The United States 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollar, also known as the Bicentennial half dollar, is more than just a coin. It's a celebration, a commemoration of 200 years of American independence, and a reminder of the artistry and skill of the United States Mint. What makes this coin truly fascinating is not just the date or the design, but the subtle variations, errors, and rarities that can turn an ordinary collector piece into something highly valuable and deeply coveted. The Bicentennial Kennedy half dollar was struck to mark the 200th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, and it carries the special dual date 1776 to 1976 instead of the usual single year. The design captures the spirit of the nation, featuring the traditional profile of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse, which collectors have admired since the coin's introduction in 1964, while the reverse tells a story all its own. Instead of the usual eagle, the Bicentennial reverse showcases Independence Hall, an iconic symbol of America's founding, surrounded by 13 stars representing the original colonies. Every detail was carefully sculpted, and the result is a coin that tells a story of pride, heritage, and history every time you hold it. What makes this coin especially exciting for collectors are the varieties and errors that occurred during its production. While millions of these half dollars were minted, not all are created equal. Some were struck with exceptionally strong details, showing crisp lines on Kennedy's hair, the lettering, and the intricate architecture of Independence Hall. These coins instantly stand out from the rest when compared side by side with circulation examples. Other coins reveal more unusual characteristics, including doubled dies, where parts of the design appear slightly offset or shadowed, giving the coin a subtle, yet striking, 3D effect that enthusiasts search for relentlessly. Some coins were struck off-center, giving a unique, uneven look to the design that instantly catches a collector's eye. Others show die cracks, raised lines, or die chips that occurred when the dies used to strike the coins began to wear or shift. These imperfections are not flaws in the eyes of collectors, instead, they are the fingerprints of history, a glimpse into the process and challenges faced by the mint during production. Certain planchet errors, where the metal blank used to strike the coin was improperly prepared, can also appear, sometimes altering the coin's weight, thickness, or texture. Each one is a story, each one is unique, and each one has the potential to be highly sought after by collectors worldwide. Condition is paramount when evaluating these coins. A bicentennial half dollar pulled from circulation may only have modest value, yet one preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition can be spectacular. Luster, surface quality, and the absence of scratches are where dramatically affect a coin's desirability. Exceptional coins can even command a premium simply because they look flawless, as if they were freshly struck and never handled. What makes the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar especially captivating is the combination of history and nostalgia. It represents an era when Americans celebrated 2 centuries of independence with coins, stamps, and national pride. Holding one of these coins today connects collectors not only to the history of the United States but to a moment in time when artistry and commemoration came together in silver, copper, and nickel. For collectors, every detail matters. A faint doubling here, a tiny die crack there, or a coin struck with extra strong relief can mean the difference between a common piece and a rare treasure. Collectors also enjoy comparing different mint marks. The Bicentennial half-dollars were produced in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The San Francisco issues, often struck in proof or special mint sets, carry a level of detail and sharpness that circulation strikes rarely achieve. Some rare error coins from the San Francisco Mint, including doubled dies or missing mint marks, have become the holy grail for collectors who want a piece that tells a story no one else might have. Now, when it comes to value, most circulated 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollars are worth their face value, or slightly above. High-grade uncirculated coins, especially those from the Denver or Philadelphia mints with exceptional details, can trade for several tens of dollars. Coins from San Francisco, particularly proofs, often command higher prices due to their superior strike and collector demand. Error coins, depending on the rarity and type of error, have sold at auction for several $100s, and in some exceptional cases, especially those with dramatic doubling or planchet mistakes, the price has exceeded $1,000. Condition, uniqueness, and demand among collectors are always the key factors. If you are a coin lover, this is a coin that deserves careful inspection. It rewards patience, attention to detail, and knowledge of what to look for. What seems ordinary to the untrained eye can reveal surprises that make it extraordinary. Take your time, enjoy the details, and remember that every coin holds a story. The 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar is more than metal, it is history, art, and sometimes, a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Coin 3. We are going to explore a coin that might seem ordinary to the casual eye but is a fascinating treasure to anyone who appreciates history, craftsmanship, and the thrill of collecting. The United States 1997 P. Kennedy half-dollar is one of those coins that, at first glance, appears to be just another circulating half-dollar, but when you study it carefully, it reveals stories, variations, and rarities that make collectors' hearts beat faster. Minted at the Philadelphia Mint, indicated by the P Mint mark on the coin, this half-dollar continues the legacy of one of America's most iconic series, honoring President John F. Kennedy, whose image has captivated collectors for decades. The Kennedy half-dollar has always been more than just currency. Introduced in 1964 following the tragic assassination of President Kennedy, the series quickly became a symbol of remembrance, national pride, and artistic excellence. By 1997, the series had been in circulation for over 3 decades, and although silver had long been removed from regular production, the coin still held a certain mystique. What makes the 1997 P. Kennedy half-dollar so interesting is that while millions were minted, certain details, varieties, and errors create opportunities for collectors to find coins that are rare and highly desirable. The obverse features the timeless profile of President Kennedy, capturing his iconic features with remarkable precision. From his hair to the contours of his face, every detail tells a story, and collectors are trained to notice subtle differences in strike quality, sharpness, and luster. Coins that are struck with exceptional clarity, where every line is crisp and every detail visible, are instantly more valuable than worn or poorly struck examples. These coins stand out in a collection, even among others from the same year and mint. The reverse, featuring the heraldic eagle, is equally important to collectors. A strong strike enhances the detail in the feathers, shield, and stars, creating a coin that is pleasing both to the eye and to the market. Coins that show full detail and deep relief are especially sought after because they reflect the care and precision of the minting process. Any coin with weakened details or uneven surfaces might be common, but those with perfect strike quality can be rare, even among mass-produced examples. What makes the 1997 P. Kennedy half-dollar even more exciting are the potential errors and varieties that occurred during production. Doubled dies, where parts of the design or lettering appear to be duplicated or slightly offset, are among the most collectible errors. Collectors search for this subtle effect because it is rare and instantly recognizable once you know what to look for. Off-center strikes are another type of variation that can occur, leaving part of the coin blank or shifted. These errors are unique, one-of-a-kind pieces that tell the story of the minting process in a way no regular circulation coin ever could. Planchet errors, where the metal blank used to strike the coin was imperfect or incorrectly prepared, can result in unusual thickness, weight, or surface texture. These anomalies are highly prized because they are rare, unintentional, and impossible to replicate. Die cracks, raised lines, or small die chips are other subtleties that collectors watch for. What may appear as a flaw is actually a signature of the coin's journey through the minting press, and each one is a piece of history frozen in metal. Condition is absolutely crucial when evaluating this coin. A 1997 P. Kennedy $half taken from circulation may only be worth face value, but an uncirculated example, especially one with original luster and no signs of handling, can be much more valuable. Coins preserved in protective holders, original mint sets, or carefully stored collections tend to retain their sharpness and appeal over time. Even minor details, such as the clarity of Kennedy's hair, the sharpness of the eagle's feathers, and the visibility of stars and lettering, can dramatically affect collector interest. The 1997 P. Kennedy $half also has an element of nostalgia. It connects collectors to an era of American history where coins were used daily, yet still carried the pride and artistry of national commemoration. Holding one of these coins is like holding a piece of the past, a tangible reminder of craftsmanship, attention to detail, and the legacy of a president whose memory continues to inspire. For collectors, finding a rare error or a perfectly struck example is a thrilling experience, and it transforms a simple coin into a cherished treasure. Collectors also pay attention to minute variations, including differences in mint marks, slight die polish differences, and subtle shifts in design alignment. Each of these factors can impact value, and the excitement comes from learning to spot them. Whether it's a faint doubling of the date, a tiny off-center strike, or an unusual planchet characteristic, these subtle features make a coin unique and highly sought after by serious collectors who understand both history and rarity. Now, when it comes to market value, most circulated 1997 P. Kennedy $half are worth only face value or slightly above. Uncirculated coins, particularly those with strong strike and full original luster, can sell for several dollars more in the collector market. Coins with documented errors, such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, or planchet irregularities, can range from several tens to a few $100s depending on rarity and condition. Exceptional mint state coins with dramatic or unique errors have been known to fetch prices reaching $1,000 or more at auction, particularly when verified and graded by reputable authorities. For anyone who loves coins, the 1997 P. Kennedy $half is a coin worth examining carefully. Take your time to inspect every detail, observe the strike quality, and look for subtle errors or unusual characteristics. This is a coin that rewards patience, curiosity, and careful observation. Whether you are a beginner just starting your collection or an experienced collector hunting for hidden treasures, this coin offers history, artistry, and the potential for significant value. Every coin has a story, and the 1997 P. Kennedy $half is no exception. Coin 4. We are exploring a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance, yet for collectors and coin enthusiasts, it carries history, artistry, and the potential for real hidden value. The United States 1992 P. Kennedy $half, minted at the Philadelphia Mint and marked with the distinctive P mint mark, is one of those coins that invites a closer look. While millions were produced, some examples stand out as rare, unique, or even error coins that can be highly coveted by serious collectors. If you think a 1992 Kennedy $half is just another piece of change, think again. This coin has stories to tell, and once you know what to look for, it becomes a fascinating treasure hunt. The Kennedy $half series has always captured the attention of collectors. Introduced in 1964 to honor the legacy of President John F. Kennedy, these coins became more than just currency, they are pieces of history. By 1992, the Kennedy $half had been in production for almost 3 decades, and while silver had been removed from circulation decades earlier, the coins still hold historical significance and a special appeal to collectors. What makes the 1992 P coin particularly interesting is not only its design but also the subtle details and minting variations that can make a coin rare, desirable, and in some cases, highly valuable. The obverse features the iconic portrait of President Kennedy, and collectors are always drawn to the clarity, sharpness, and strike quality of these coins. In high-grade examples, every strand of Kennedy's hair, the contours of his face, and the fine details around the lettering are crisp and well-defined. These details are not just cosmetic, they are indicators of how carefully the coin was struck at the mint. Coins with stronger details stand out dramatically when compared to standard circulation pieces and are often more valuable. The reverse, showing the heraldic eagle, is equally important to collectors. The intricacies of the eagle's feathers, the shield, and the stars are all examined closely. Coins with full detail, deep relief, and original luster are especially prized because they display the artistry of the mint and have been preserved in excellent condition over decades. We often find that coins with the sharpest details are the ones that attract the most attention at auctions and in private collections. Error coins and varieties make the 1992 P Kennedy $50 even more intriguing. Doubled dies are among the most collectible errors, appearing when the design on the die receives a second impression that is slightly misaligned. On these coins, parts of the design, the date, or lettering appear doubled or shadowed. Detecting these subtle variations requires a keen eye, but for collectors, discovering a doubled die can be an exciting find. Off-center strikes are another variation that can occur, where the coin is struck slightly off the center of the planchet, leaving part of the design incomplete and creating a unique look. Each off-center coin is unique, effectively making it a one-of-a-kind collectible. Planchet errors are another category that can increase a coin's desirability. These occur when the metal blank is improperly prepared, resulting in differences in thickness, weight, or surface texture. Die cracks and die chips, subtle raised lines or minor imperfections caused by the minting process, are also highly sought after by collectors. What might look like a flaw to an untrained eye is actually a signature of the minting process and an indicator that the coin may be rare or unusual. These small details are what make coin collecting a challenging and rewarding hobby, because every coin tells a story if you take the time to look closely. Condition is a major factor in determining a coin's value. A circulated 1992 P Kennedy $50 may only be worth its face value, but an uncirculated coin, with original mint luster and no signs of handling, can be much more appealing. Coins preserved in mint sets, protective holders, or carefully stored collections tend to retain their clarity and sharpness, which makes them highly desirable to collectors. Even small features like the crispness of the lettering, the sharpness of the eagle's feathers, and the clarity of Kennedy's facial details can significantly affect a coin's market value. Collectors also pay attention to mint mark variations, subtle die polish differences, and even faint anomalies in the design. These small factors can make a standard coin into something truly rare and valuable. Whether it's a minor doubling of the date, a slight misalignment in the strike, or an unusual texture on the planchet, these characteristics make each coin unique. That uniqueness is what collectors love, because it connects them to the minting process, history, and the stories behind the coins. The 1992 P Kennedy $50 is also a nostalgic coin. It represents a period when these $50 were still used in circulation, yet many were preserved by collectors and enthusiasts who appreciated their beauty. Holding one of these coins today connects you to that era, to the craftsmanship of the Philadelphia Mint, and to a legacy that began with the first Kennedy $50 in 1964. For collectors, finding a rare error or a coin in exceptional condition is always thrilling. It transforms an ordinary coin into a cherished piece of history. When it comes to market value, most circulated 1992 P Kennedy $50 are worth only face value or slightly above. Uncirculated examples, particularly those with strong strikes and full mint luster, can sell for several dollars more. Coins with errors, including doubled dies, off-center strikes, or planchet anomalies, can range from tens to a few $100s depending on rarity and condition. Exceptional mint state coins or those with dramatic errors have been known to reach prices of several hundred to over $1,000 at auction. The market for these coins is driven by condition, rarity, and collector demand, which makes careful examination and attention to detail essential for anyone who loves coins. The 1992 P. Kennedy half dollar is a coin that deserves careful attention. Examine it closely, look for subtle errors, and appreciate the artistry and history it carries. Every detail matters, and the thrill of discovering a rare variation or a pristine example is part of what makes coin collecting such an exciting and rewarding hobby. This coin is more than metal, it is history, art, and potentially a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Coin 5. We are going to explore a coin that may seem like just another half dollar, yet for collectors, it is a fascinating piece full of history, artistry, and potential hidden value. The United States 1973 Kennedy half dollar is part of a series that has captivated coin enthusiasts for decades, and this particular year carries unique characteristics that make it interesting, rare, and in some cases, extremely valuable. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone just starting, this coin offers a window into the world of minting, errors, and the thrill of discovery. The Kennedy half dollar series began in 1964 to honor the late President John F. Kennedy. By 1973, the series had been in production for almost a decade, and while these coins no longer contain silver for general circulation, they had already established a reputation for historical significance and collector appeal. The 1973 Kennedy half dollar carries the classic profile of President Kennedy on the obverse, a design that captures the sharp features, hair details, and distinctive profile that collectors have admired for decades. Every coin tells a story, and for this year, careful inspection can reveal subtleties that make certain examples far more valuable than others. What makes the 1973 Kennedy half dollar fascinating is the combination of production quality, minting errors, and condition. Millions of coins were minted, yet not all were created equally. Some coins were struck with exceptional clarity, showing bold details in Kennedy's hair, facial features, and the surrounding lettering. Collectors instantly notice these coins, as the sharpness and depth of strike indicate a coin that was handled carefully during production. On the other hand, coins with weak strikes or worn details from circulation tend to be common and have far less collector appeal. Error coins and varieties are particularly exciting for collectors. Doubled dies are among the most sought-after errors. On a doubled die coin, parts of the design or lettering appear doubled or shadowed. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin receives a second impression that is slightly misaligned. Coins with this subtle feature are rare and highly desirable. Off-center strikes are another variation where the coin is not properly aligned on the planchet, leaving part of the edge blank. Each off-center coin is essentially one of a kind, making it a prized find for collectors. Planchet errors also occur when the metal blank used to strike the coin is flawed. These imperfections can affect weight, thickness, or surface texture, creating unusual and collectible variations. Die cracks and die chips, subtle raised lines or minor defects on the coin's surface, tell a story of the minting process and make certain coins unique. Collectors often spend years learning to identify these anomalies because they can dramatically increase a coin's desirability and value. Condition is another key factor. While many 1973 Kennedy half dollars were used in everyday transactions, coins preserved in uncirculated condition with original luster and no surface marks are much rarer. Coins that retain sharp detail in the eagle on the reverse, crisp lettering, and clear profiles of Kennedy are the ones collectors look for. Even small imperfections or signs of wear can reduce a coin's value, which is why careful handling and proper storage are critical for collectors who wish to maximize the worth of their coins. The 1973 Kennedy half dollar also has historical significance. It represents a period in American history where half dollars were still used in circulation, yet collectors had already begun to recognize the potential for special coins to become highly sought after. Holding one of these coins today connects you to the artistry of the mint, the history of Kennedy's legacy, and the excitement of coin collecting. Each coin is not just a piece of currency, it is a tangible link to the past, a reflection of the minting process, and in some cases, a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Collectors pay close attention to subtle variations, including die polish differences, slight shifts in minting alignment, and mint mark clarity. These minute details can distinguish a common coin from one that is rare and valuable. Coins with minor doubling on the date, slight misalignments, or unusual planchet features are often the most interesting finds. The thrill of discovering such a coin is what makes collecting Kennedy half dollars so rewarding, as even an ordinary looking coin can hold surprises for those who know what to look for. And now, when it comes to value, most circulated 1973 Kennedy half dollars are worth only face value or slightly above. Uncirculated examples, particularly those with strong strike and full mint luster, can sell for several dollars to collectors. Coins with errors, including doubled dies, off-center strikes, or planchet anomalies, can range from tens to hundreds of dollars depending on rarity and condition. Exceptional mint-state coins or coins with dramatic and well-preserved errors have been known to reach prices exceeding $1,000 at auction, especially when verified by grading authorities. The combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand determines the ultimate market value, making careful observation and study essential for anyone interested in this coin. For anyone who loves coins, the 1973 Kennedy half dollar is a coin that deserves a careful look. Examine every detail, from the sharpness of Kennedy's profile to the eagle on the reverse, and look for subtle errors or anomalies. This coin rewards attention, patience, and knowledge, offering a tangible connection to history and the thrill of discovery. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced collector, understanding the rarities, errors, and market trends of this coin can transform it from a simple half dollar into a cherished collector's item. Every coin tells a story, and the 1973 Kennedy half dollar is no exception. It is history, artistry, and potentially a hidden treasure waiting for those willing to look closely.